What's up, guys? Cheap Beast, aka Noah, back today bringing another video. This time we're doing the top 5 sneakers of 2021 so far. We're at about the halfway point of the year, so I did want to do a 5 ranking. Normally at the end of the year I do the top 10, at least in my opinion. These are all in my opinion. Again, I did a little bit of research to see what other people were saying, but these are the top 5 in my opinion. I actually have 4 honorable mentions because I couldn't really narrow it down completely to the top 5, so I did want to mention some sneakers that if this was a top 10 probably are making it, and I did just like them, so they could crack the top 5. We'll see. Some of them I feel like they have to grow on me, and one grew on me, and that's why it is an honorable mention. So before we get in the top 5, let's go over the honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention is actually the only sneaker that I did pick up on this list. The only thing I picked up for retail in a while. It's the Air Max 90 Bacon. I copped on a shock drop real quick of like a restock or something. So it's grown on me a lot. Originally I wasn't that big of a fan of it, so I didn't really try too hard to get it. Then when it came out again, I was like, let me just try to pick it up. But definitely one of my favorite sneakers I've gotten of the year so far, because I haven't really picked up a ton, but it's grown on me a lot. And the only reason I feel like it's not in the top 5 is because it's an older colorway re-releasing, so I try to avoid stuff like that, but it is definitely a good sneaker. The next honorable mention is the Jordan 1 Hyper Royal. I really like this sneaker. It was an L that I got this year. It's probably one of the sadder ones I got of something that's not like super crazy like resale. If I could pick it up, I might try to, but we'll see. It's definitely one of the better sneakers, at least Jordan 1s in my opinion, of the year. I like the suede of it. I wanted the turbo green like 2 years ago, but I didn't get it, and then they shot up in price. So Hyper Royal is another good one. Then we have the Jordan 4 Taupe Haze. This one, if it was a Travis Scott, I'd feel like it was cracking everyone's top 5, but because it's not a Travis Scott, it's just going to go into honorable mentions. But later in the year could show up in the top 10, but it is a good sneaker and I do like it. And then the last honorable mention is actually one that I feel like is a little underrated. It may just because the Ultra Boost 4D isn't that popular anymore, and like Adidas doesn't have like the insane popular sneakers anymore, especially with the Ultra Boost. But it's Ultra Boost sneakers and stuff. Ultra Boost 4D Tea Time. I really like the sneaker. I like the colorway. I know it was released as just a plain Ultra Boost, and now it's a 4D one, but I do like the 4D. I just haven't picked it up because it's pretty expensive and because I didn't get it on the day, but it is probably one of my favorite sneakers of the year. All right, before we get into the top 5, I actually want to tell you guys I'm getting closer to 500 subscribers. Once we hit that point, I'm probably going to do a giveaway, so make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Definitely like the video. It helps me out, helps me grow. Getting closer to the 500. If you subscribe now, it's probably a better chance of getting it before, because you'll be in before we hit 500. So hopefully we get to 500 soon and we can do the giveaway pretty soon. So now on to the top 5. So at number 5 we have the Nike Go Flyees. It released back in April, on April 30th, for a retail of $120. It resells now for about $240. I think that actually came down. I feel like it was closer to $400 at some point. But if you guys don't know what it is, the picture will be on the screen. There's 3 colorways right now. I went with the more like main colorway, but it's basically a hands-free sneaker. So it was probably made more for like handicapped people, so they can put their sneakers on without having to use their hands or tie their shoes. So it kind of folds up. When you step in it, it closes the back in. I think it's really cool. That's kind of why it's in the top 5, because I feel like it's pretty innovative, especially since it's like a really it's a cool idea, and the design of it's pretty cool. Like, I think it's a good looking sneaker too. But I feel like the problem with this sneaker is there wasn't a super wide release on it. They gave it access to random people, but I think they were trying to put it more to a handicap audience, and it didn't really do that way. So I know I've seen some articles and stuff about how people are kind of mad that they couldn't pick it up, and now it's double the price. $240 is not terrible, but when it's targeted to a specific audience, you definitely want to try to get the retail. Hopefully there's a wider release soon, because I think they need to. So hopefully Nike does that. But other than that, I think it's a really good sneaker. Definitely a cool idea, and I think it looks really cool to begin with, and I think the design behind it is really good. Next up at number 4, we have the Supreme Nike Dunk SB, Dunk Low SB. It released on March 4th for a retail of $110. Currently, I picked just the black one because I feel like it's the best colorway. It resells for $994. That was the last sale at the time I wrote this list, which is crazy. So now it's going over $900+ over retail, which was going to happen with Supreme. Everything Supreme usually does it, especially Dunk Lows. They're pretty standard Dunk Lows. I mean, it's got like a crocodile leather. I don't know if it is crocodile leather, and then it's got some stars around like the Nike swoosh. It's got 4 colorways. It's black, green, blue, and brown. I think the black and probably the blue are my favorite, more just because I like those colors. But I do think they're pretty good. I feel like This is actually lower than a lot of people are going to have them. I'm not a huge Dunk Low fan. There is a Dunk Low higher than this one. And I think it's a pretty basic colorway. If it wasn't Supreme, I don't think it would do nearly as well. But the collab is really cool. It obviously resells for a ton. So the sneaker is good looking. I just don't think it could break into the top 3. Next up at number 3, we have the Jordan 1 Trophy Room. This is one that I actually think I ranked lower than a lot of people are going to do. I feel like they're ranking it 1 or 2, and at least in my opinion. I just feel like there's some of the things that surrounded it, which we'll get into in a second. But this released on February 2nd for a retail of $190. The last sale on it was $2,306. I know at one point they were selling for like $4,000, $5,000. That might still be the case, but that was the last sale on it on StockX. This is obviously a collab with Trophy Room, so it's Michael Jordan's Sun Store and Nike. So there are very few pairs, and as you guys can see, it's a Chicago Jordan 1. But it's basically like got a frosted look. There's like the frosted bottom, the soles. They look like they kind of just have a whole frosted thing, and then it's got, I think, a Jordan signature on the back. But one problem with this, I feel like that killed it in terms of being 1 and 2 for me at least, is there was a ton of pairs that supposedly got backdoored, which is pretty true as far as I know, and there's only maybe 12,000 pairs. I don't know that exactly, but there weren't a ton of pairs, and a lot of them were backdoored, so they just kind of, when they released on like sneakers and release day, there were very few pairs, so you had terrible odds of getting it. Not like you ever have good odds, but the fact that a lot of them were just like sent out beforehand, and a lot of people couldn't even get them. I mean, a lot of people still can't get them, but there wasn't like a fair way of getting them. I think that killed some of the hype on them, but they are still number 3. It's obviously a good looking Jordan and super exclusive, and the prices will still go up, but I feel like it killed a lot of the hype that they were backdoored and people just didn't really have a chance to get them. Then number 2, we have probably my favorite sneaker of the year. I have one obviously ranked above it, which I think is just a better sneaker. But this one's my favorite sneaker, and I feel like it's really slept on, at least for SBs. It's the Nike SB Dunk Low Club 58 Golf. I think I talked about this when it released, but I don't know if it's released in the US yet, but I know it's released in other places. But it released on February 27th for a retail of $100. Currently, it's only reselling for about $400. Which is pretty crazy, especially for a Dunk Low that I think looks this good. I know I don't remember when I was looking at it, but I was like, should I get these? They're pretty low right now, and I know these could go up a lot, especially with Dunks. But it was inspired by a 1970 Porsche 917 race car. It's exactly the same colorway. The number is different, which I think is probably it, but I really like the colors. I think they look really good together, and I'm still debating on if I want to pick it up. I don't have any Dunks right now, and I feel like this would be a good one to get. Plus, I just like the colorways. I feel like the inspiration is really cool too. I'm not a big Porsche guy, but it's a cool colorway. It's the blue chill and safety orange, which I think looks really good together, and I just think that the car that's on is really cool. That's probably one of the reasons why I want it. But I do think it's super like slept on. It definitely should be a little higher, and hopefully it doesn't go up because I may purchase it in the future. And then finally at number 1, we have the A Ma Maniére Jordan 3. This is actually released on April 21st, but there is a wider release or like a restock on June 10th, which is coming up. So there is a chance to get it on sneakers. It retailed for $200. It's still going to retail for $200. It only resells for $464. I don't know if the hype's behind it yet, or people just haven't got it. One of the problems I think it does have is because it is a women's exclusive, so there aren't like my sizes. I don't think they make it high enough in my size that I can wear it. But I do think it's probably the best sneaker of the year right now, at least in my opinion. I think it's just a clean looking colorway. The materials are supposedly super good and high quality. I just think it's a good colorway. If it wasn't a women's release, I definitely think it would probably be in everyone's top 5. It still might be in everyone's top 5. But in my opinion, it's probably the sneaker of the year so far. And there hasn't been a ton of stuff that have been released that I think pass it. I know a lot of people would put the Trophy Room probably above this because it's a Jordan 1 and it's got a Chicago colorway. But for the Jordan 3, I think it's a really good look. And I just think that it's a pretty minimal colorway, and you can wear it a ton. I wish it came in bigger sizes, but it doesn't, so I don't think I'll be able to pick it up. I mean, I may still try to pick it up because obviously there's resale there, and I do want to see it in hand because it's supposedly really good quality, and I just think it is going to be probably ranked in everyone's like top 5 at the end of the year. So we'll see about that. But at this point right now, I think it's number 1, and you guys can still actually pick it up, which is definitely the coolest thing about it. The only one on the top 5 that you can still pick up right now. So I do feel like this is a sneaker of the year right now. If you guys have other opinions, let me know in the comments. That's my top 5. I think it's a pretty solid one right now. I wish I could include some other brands. I just couldn't find anything that I like that much, and I'm a big Nike guy, so this is definitely why I picked this top 5. I'm pretty happy with the list, and it's definitely going to help me towards the end of the year and 6 months from now, talking about the top 10 of the year. So let me know in the comments what your guys' top 10 or top 5 for the year so far is, or just the sneaker of the year you guys have so far, especially one that you picked up. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.